Hey there, I am BogdanBudaca and welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining me for another mind workout. I hope that your summer is good and all's well. Today I want to talk about test-driven development, so let's dig right in. Well, as the acronym describes it, TDD or test-driven development is basically, very simply put for me, it means write the tests first and then the implementation. I don't think I need to speak too much about testing in general. It's super useful. It's a great contract for the quality of the implementation. It helps you figure out different corner cases. It's also super useful to help you go into a new code base, for example, and try to figure out what's going on. You can read the tests and go from there. TDD is pretty popular in quite a few software development environments. If you're new to it, it's pretty simple. As I said, you write the tests first and then the implementation. What it does for you is help you describe what you're trying to do. So it has three phases: the red, the green, and the refactor phase. We can use a picture here. So the test fails phase, that's red, test passes, and then refactor. These are the three basic steps of the TDD cycle. We have a few more details here. So for example, you get a spec, you analyze it, you write a test for it, so that's why it helps you describe what you're trying to do, what needs to be done. You write the test, of course the test will fail. Then you write the implementation, a bit of implementation needed to make it pass. And after you have the test, you have the test passing, you refactor the code, you clean it up, and you just reiterate on this until you are where you would like to be. It's also super fun if you're working in a pair programming environment. One developer can write the test, the other one can come in and try to make it pass, and so on. And even just for yourself, you can just start with the tests and go from there. It's super useful and I really like it a lot. We have a couple of really simple small cases here. For example, spec 1, we need a function that joins two strings. So let's just write some code. This is just a basic Kotlin Spring Boot project. I just have Mockito, JUnit, easy random. I threw them in here. Just gonna make a class. For example, unit tests. Oop, just need a bit of boilerplate. Okay, import this in. Test. So our first spec says that we need a function that joins two strings. So should join two strings. Let's try that. Okay, so this is going to be very simple. I'm just going to go straight to the assertion. So assertions, assert that, and when you're doing TDD, you need to imagine a lot and just kind of foresee what different things are going to be used, the names, how they're set up. But of course, you can just refactor that later, so it's fine. Just going to imagine here that I have, I'll probably need a service method, so something like string utilities, for example, join to strings method. It'll take two arguments. I'm going to use like test and string. Oh, I don't get the autofill because we have a compilation error. Test string. Okay, so right off the bat we can see that we have a compilation error here. We're going to imagine that we need a service, utilities. Sorry about that. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so if I run the test, for example, it'll probably fail. We are at the red phase here. We're trying to write the test. So we have our test put together. It's failing. Unresolved reference. I'm going to create this class. Okay, string utilities. I'm going to stick it in here. Okay, so here we will need a function. Actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry about that. So now we have our class. Okay, so this compiles fine. If I run the test again, we just go bit by bit and write the implementation to make the test pass. So now we have a compilation error because we don't have this method, so we're going to create it. You can just use S1, S2 for example. So now we have our method. This compiles, but if I run it, it'll tell me that we need a return for the function. Okay, so because we're looking for, so we're expecting here to get test string, I'm just gonna hard code it here. So this will be the first step to make the test pass, because we're going bit by bit. Okay, so I'm just gonna pretend that all I want to do is this is just for the sake of the demonstration. So I just want to make the test pass, figure out that there's nothing else going wrong here. So the test passed now, but okay. So we did the green phase here, so now we're at the refactor phase. Okay. So for example, what if I want to add another assertion? Change the strings up. So now we have for example. Okay, I run the test again. Sure enough, it will fail because we have a hard-coded string returned. So go in here, expected test but got test string. Okay, so now it's time to do the refactor phase. Go back into our implementation, and instead of hard-coding the result here, just do S1 and S2. Okay, run the test again. So the test passed. Okay, so we just went through all three of the phases. We had the test, we made it pass, then we refactored it. This is so simple, it doesn't need any more refactoring, but this is just the mental exercise that we go through to get a taste of TDD. So we went through the cycle. We got one more spec. So for this spec, we need a service method that adds cars to a database. I'm just gonna go ahead and hammer at it. If you're used to hammer on the implementation as soon as you have a spec, it could be useful it's really useful to start with a test because it really helps you understand what's going on and what you need. For me anyway, that's how I see the value of this practice. So I'm just gonna put in here, good, add a car for example. So here we will use the 3 phases of a test: arrange, act, and assert, to have like a scaffold for it. So here in arrange we will need, for example, a car object. I will use easy random. So I'll use the easy random generator. Okay. Next object. And this will be our car class. So we can imagine that we will have a model, right? A model that we will need an entity for the car. So we will create one here. This being a unit test, and we don't need to test the repository. We just want to test our method. So it's just a unit test. I'm just gonna mock the repository. So I can imagine we will do this. For example, we will have a car repo. Sorry about that. We will save the car. So now, when we will act, to be returned, to return. Oh, sorry about that. To return car. Okay. Yep. Now we're good. So we act. We can imagine we will have a car service. Okay, and here for the assertion, so far we have the model, we have the object, we mocked the repository here, we acted, we used our service method, and we want to assert that. Assertions, assert that, or actually I'm going to put result first, is equal to car. Okay, So now we're in the red phase again. We're just trying to put a test together. So we can imagine we will have a model. We will have a repo that we're mocking. We act on our service method, and then we make the assertion. Okay. So if I come in here and look at this test, I'm starting to figure out what I'm trying to do. So after I've described it and captured it here, I'm starting to figure out what we're trying to do. So actually, I'm also missing basic syntax. So not enough information. Variable t. Okay, so it's clear we don't have a car. So I'm gonna create it. Okay, stick it in here. This will be our entity. It's actually gonna need a few fields. So for example, this would be our ID. Generate value, import this. Okay, this will be UUID, for example. Import it. Let's go with make and model. For both strings. Okay, so now we have our car class. So now this compiles fine, but now we don't have a car repo. So we can imagine we will mock it here. I think I need more. I need Mockito, mock. And we're going to mock the car repo. Okay. So now, of course, we don't have the car repo. Create it. Stick it in here. This will be our repository. It'll extend, for example, CRUD repository. It'll take car and UUID. Okay. Okay. Importing this. So now we have our car repo. We have it mocked. Everything compiles here. So now we need our car service. Okay. So I can imagine we will need a car service here. Car service. I think this is faster. Okay, but of course we don't have the car service, so we need to create it. Okay, I'm gonna stick it in here. Be our service class. Service. Okay, so here we will have our function add car, not strings. Here we'll take a car object. Here it will actually, I don't need to do this yet. I'm getting way ahead of myself again. So now we have the car service, but of course, yeah, we don't have the add car. So we go back to the test and we keep working on the implementation. Okay, add car, takes a car, returns a car. Now, of course, we don't have it returning anything. Yep. Okay. So what we will do, we will just, oh, I forgot one thing. We need to inject the car repo here. Will be the dependency for this class. Be the car repo, save car. Okay, so going back to our test. So now we seem to have everything in place. Let's just have a go at the test and see if it runs. So the red phase is done, no value passed. Oh yeah, so we need the repo here. We inject the dependency. I'm gonna run the test again. Car service depends on the car repo. So we're done with the red phase. We have our test. We're just running it and it passed. So basically we're at the green phase now. And this being super simple and straightforward, there's not much refactoring to be done. So this can just be it. So again, just to recap, we needed a function that method that adds cars to a database. we started with the test. We just tried to imagine what we will need. We needed the model object. We mocked the repo, this being a unit test. We acted on the car service, on a car service, and then we made the assertion. So from this test and the red phase done, we went to the green phase and slowly implemented everything that we needed to make the test pass. This is like super simple, so we don't need much of a refactoring to be done here. But I hope this helps you get an idea about TDD and how fun it can be. I mean, I really like it. And yeah, if you made it this far, thank you for watching, and I hope this was as fun for you as it was for me. Looking forward to your comments, and if you like this video, give it a like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you around.